Hi there and welcome to this video where I will be presenting you one of my own trading strategies. It is the ATEEZ strategy and only insiders know what this name means. This video is a little bit different from my previous formats. It is because my other videos seem to get lesser and lesser views for some reason. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too technical, the strategies aren't that spectacular to watch, or YouTube decides to give me lower exposure to interested viewers. Or I just keep rambling and nobody's interested and stayed anyway. I really don't know. Anyhow, I'll try to make these videos shorter and get more to the conclusions quickly. Also, the YouTube algorithm really likes to see you smash that like button, give a comment in the comment section or subscribe to this channel. If you do not do this, my videos end up in the abyss of the unwatched videos on YouTube. Now back to this ATEEZ strategy. ATEEZ is an acronym for the indicators I use this time. I intended this for trend trading and it consists of the following indicators. The A stands for APO or Absolute Price Oscillator, which is a technical indicator used by traders and analysts to measure the difference between two moving averages of a security's price. The T of the TSI or True Strength Index is used in financial analysis to measure the strength of a trend over time. Then I use two exponential moving averages. I will use the EMA 21 for the shorter trends and the EMA 100 as the baseline to detect bullish or bearish conditions. And finally there is the Z of the Z-score. This indicator is used by traders and analysts where they have to gain insights into market trends and potential opportunities. Now what about my trading rules? Considering all these indicators, I will go along when the absolute price oscillator is above its zero line and then check if the close price is above the 21 EMA. And also the close price should be above the EMA 100 and the EMA 21 should also be above the EMA 100. Furthermore, the TSI should be above the signal line and above the zero line. And finally, the Z-score over 50 periods should be above zero. I will exit the trade when the True Strength Index goes below its signal line. I will also make a strategy for futures, so I can also go short. For this, the absolute price oscillator should be below its zero line. And the close price is below EMA 21 and below the EMA 100. And also the EMA 21 should be below the EMA 100. The TSI should be below the signal line and below the zero line. And finally, the Z-score over 50 periods should be below its zero line as well. And again, the exit signal is when the TSI crosses its signal line above. Now, every time before I create the actual strategy file that can be used by the bot, I will first create the data frame and trading rules in a Jupyter or Google Colab notebook. This way I can build the trading rules into pseudocode and then change that code to actual code for the trading bot. And also this way I can check if the signals are valid or not. So let's quickly start by creating the data frame in a Colab notebook. And first I will import the modules that I need. Then I'm going to upload the dataset to Google Colab. And now that the dataset is uploaded, I will create the data frame and show only some high-level info here. But I can also show its contents, of course. Now this looks correct. Now I will add the indicators I need for this strategy. And for this I will use the pandas TA library for the indicators. But first I have to install this into the Colab workspace first. So after this is installed, I can import the module so that I can create the indicators. And I will use the APO with its default values 12 and 26 to the data frame, like this. For the TSI indicator, I will have to use 3 values. And here I will use the same trick as with the Ichimoku indicator, where I define the indicator values in a variable. This way I can easily adjust these values if I want to later. Now let's add both the EMAs to the data frame. That's no fancy stuff here. And finally I will create the Z-score indicator in the data frame. And you can see here its length I will use 50. Now that I've defined all the indicators for this ATEEZ trading strategy, let's now create the trading rules and add these to the data frame too. To create the long and short signals, I have created a function that detects the conditions for these trades and then show a signal on what action to take. And this function looks at the conditions for each cell in a row and detects if there is a long or short conditions, and if all the conditions are met, then a signal is given. So now I can execute the function and add all the output to the signal column. And then I can check the rows where the signal is to go long. And as you can see, I get the long signals here. So this part of the code looks like it's working. Also, I can check this for the short signals as well. And here we can see that the short conditions also can create signals. I can also use this clever trick that will help me to see if the signals are actually changing or not. This way I can also get an overview of the dates where the long, short and neutral moments start. And I can also show that on which dates this advice really changed. And here you can see as well that there are advice changes, and in the other column which change this was. Now finally I can also create 2 data frame columns that provide information that helps me to get out of trades. And as said, the exit signal is when the TSI gets below the TSI signal line for long trades, or when the TSI gets above the signal line for short trades. So now let's create the exit signal columns here. And to finish this off, I can also create a plot to see how the chart would look like. I will not go too deep into this because we only will see how the chart will look, but you can always create similar charts on TradingView with these indicators, of course. By looking at the plot at a high level, I can also get a little bit of a feeling if this algo has a chance of being profitable or not. Although not that detailed, of course. But as you can see, this looks pretty good. So now that this is done, let's quickly continue with the next stage, and that is to create the actual file that can be used for the bot. I will do this off screen so that I can quickly proceed with the next stage, and that is to test if this strategy has the potential of making us some money in the future. So off screen I have created the actual strategy file that can be used by the FracTrade bot to trade with. I made it so that this file can also be used for optimization of the 2 EMAs and the Z-score. And I think that optimization of more parameters will only lead to curve fitting and unrealistic future results, so I think this will be sufficient for now. Let's take a look at the results of the spot and futures backtests. And as you can see here, the spot backtest results looks as follows. Right off the bat it already has some super great results. All the ratios are at least above 1 and 50% of the pairs react really well to this strategy. However, the win rate is not that spectacular, but the drawdown is somewhat below average. So that's a good thing. The profit plot also shows that this is a strategy that catches up the bullish side of market cycles here. And as you can see, the bot is quite active during the upward market movements and stays relatively still when there are more bearish conditions. It also catched some major pumps on some coins, and that is pretty inevitable if you backtest over crypto. So now let's see how this strategy would perform if I also make use of the bearish market conditions and go short in these. The execution of the future variant of this strategy proved to be somewhat of a problem. The 1-day time frame could not be tested, for example, and I could not find out which pair the error gave and where it was happening, because all data frames were nicely created. But testing all the time frames from the 4-hour to lower did not give me any problems, so I did these only. And as you can see, the 4-hour time frame seems to have the best papers here as well. I'm not sure if the 1-day time frame could top this, but it's also pretty comparable with the spot results, although the win percentage is not that high. And that is strange because I would expect that this also could profit from the bear markets. And here on the profit plot version of the futures trading, you can see that there is not that big of a difference. The only major difference for the futures trading version is that the ratios are better than the spot trading ones. As said earlier, I also made the strategy file so that I could optimize the strategy's EMA and z-score level parameters. And I chose to not optimize each and every parameter because otherwise I will make the strategy suffer from too much curve fitting. So for this video I will only optimize the best performing ATEEZ variant, and that version is the spot trading version. It only has 1 point difference in the final score, 269 against 268. And I think overall it's very admirable for a strategy that has been inspired by a K-pop band. So now let's see what this strategy does after it has been optimized for both the buy space as well as the ROI and stop loss setting. In the end I did 2 optimization runs of each 500 epochs, because the initial hyperopt run did not prove to be very successful in terms of profitability. And also the second optimization and backtest run did not get me the score I was hoping for. So actually I'm thinking that this strategy is as good as it gets with this construction as it is. And as you can see here on the profit chart, it is not that different from the initial backtesting version. There might be some small differences here and there, but the overall charts look the same. Although the drawdown period is a little bit smaller in the optimized one. Still nothing really worth of mentioning though. Now you can argue that I should first do an ROI optimization run and then stop loss and then the buy signals, but I think this is the best I can do with this trading strategy at the moment. So at the end of this video we come to the conclusion. How does this ATEEZ strategy perform? And based on their scores, they eventually come up as the second and third best trading strategy, giving the first LIKE May a run for its money. It is hard to compare the performance of a 5-minute trading strategy against one that is running on the 4-hour time frame, since they both have different objectives. One that is mainly focused on mean reversion on a small time frame, and one that is more focused on swing trades on higher time frame. Now, being that the ATEEZ strategy can also be used for manual trading because of the way the indicators work, makes this algorithm not only versatile, but also easy enough to use under different circumstances. And with this conclusion, I'm at the end of this video. I hope you like this new setup. It's a lot of information in a pressure cooker. And also a little bit more high level, but gets quicker to the answer to the question if a strategy has a high chance to be profitable in the future or not. So if you like this new setup, then please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel and give a comment in the comment section. I did not whine about this in my last couple of videos and I really see the difference. Without your help, I cannot make this channel more known to other people that search for the best trading strategy. Also, many thanks to my patrons that support me with a small donation. If you become one, you will also enjoy the benefits of getting access to the notebooks and actual FracTrade trading strategy code for your own usage. But for now, this is the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!